get a drum as a toy for Christmas. Was one of the
Come on into the ditch. I'm your resident ditch witch, Tara Tyne, and it's my birthday! And I'm here in my brand new studio. Let me know what you think. I've spent all day setting up this setup. Still not too sure. There's a lot of reflection going on in the gloss painted dresser. Yeah. Do they even make matte treatment for wood? Is that even a thing? I spent all afternoon twiddling with it. And I'll probably twiddle with it some more. But not today. Not today. Today I am gonna answer some burning questions which have come in from you, the viewers. Thanks to all the people who dropped questions in the comments and who dropped me a PM, and they're all very much appreciated. By the way, it might still be a little bit echoey in here, and I still have to get a few sound panels in here to just deaden the echo a bit. It's still like, you know, when you paint a room and it's freshly painted and you haven't moved all your mountains of crap into it yet, and you can hear yourself bouncing back off the walls. So that's fun. What I have done is thrown the biggest, thickest fleece blanket that I have across the floor. So I'm currently sitting on a red carpet of sorts. Actually, now that I think about it, I have rolled out the red carpet for my own birthday Q&A because that's how we do it here in the ditch. Yeah, but you know what it's been like for me the last few weeks. You've been watching the shorts. You've seen the chaos. I am enjoying getting ready for Ditchoween a little bit too much. And by the way, we still have not yet reached the milestone necessary for me to carve 2, not 1, but 2 turnips this Halloween, because that's how Ireland does it. Okay, pumpkins are easy, nice and soft, you know, but turnips, or Swedes as I believe they're called over the pond and elsewhere, yeah, those things will hurt you, okay? Those things are dense. And I did promise that I would carve one for your entertainment last Halloween if I reached 1,000 subscribers by this Halloween, which I have done, but I'm actually a lot closer to 2,000 subscribers than I expected to be. So if you'd like to see me break out a second turnip to make 2 creepy jack-o'-lanterns in the traditional Irish style, and I'm not gonna lie, if I have to carve a second one, it's probably going to involve power tools. And if you want to make that happen, share this video or any of my videos with a friend that you think might enjoy them, and that would mean the world to me. And you know it's a good thing to be in the good favours of a witch. So I'm gonna stop the yammering for there and get straight into the point of today's video, which is answering your questions. Let me just get my phone out here. I've been saving all of the questions that I have received over the last few months, and I'm noticing as I'm looking at it here that there are a lot of technical questions about the equipment I use at the start, because in the early days those were really the only kinds of questions that people asked me, and I usually always do my best to answer everyone in the comments, but in case there are people wondering what equipment I'm using and they haven't seen those videos, well, I'm going to just run rather quickly through them again. What software do you use? I use Adobe Premiere Pro. What camera do you use? I have a Canon EOS M50, which is recommended on the internet for vloggers, and as you can see, it's pretty good quality. I am very happy with this camera. I put it through its paces, as you'll have noticed from watching my channel, and it is up to 90% of the challenges that I throw at it. So 100% would recommend the Canon. It's got great battery life on it as well. The only one major drawback that you need to be aware of before you would purchase that camera is that it only records for a maximum of 29 minutes and 59 seconds before it cuts off and you're there talking away to yourself like a prat. But I'm well up to its tricks now, oh yes. A very non-technical one next, which is, why do you talk so much about colonials and the people who invaded Ireland? This is a thing that comes up a lot more so in kind of Irish history Facebook groups. And I 100% understand where those comments are coming from. You know, it's very important not to deify, glorify, justify the things that have occurred in Ireland, mainly at the expense of the Irish people. And without turning this into a full-blown soapbox rant, as I always say, I think it's very important to know what has gone into the environment and the culture that you're living in, what influences have been at play, and in our case there have been quite a few. Some were more detrimental to us than others, but you know, I mean, apart from anything else, they say if you don't want to repeat the mistakes of history, well, you need to learn history first. And if we censor out all the uncomfortable stuff, well, then we only know the half of it. And I'm pretty sure Sun Tzu would have something to say about that, you know? You have to be thorough. Who films my videos? Very good question, because it's pretty easily answered. When it's just me like this on my own here, inside my own space, the chances are it's just me and the tripod. Although Dave does come to the rescue occasionally with tech problems which are melting my brain. He's very, very good at that. But when we're out and about, Dave does do a lot of the filming. Basically, if you see me on camera, if I'm on the screen, there's a very good chance that it's being filmed by Dave, unless it's obvious that I'm holding the camera on myself. But I have to book Dave, like everybody else, you know? He's a very busy man, and I don't know if he will kill me for telling you this, but at the minute he's actually working on starting up his own YouTube channel, which will be dealing with audio and tech problems. And he's also hilariously funny. I know you don't get to see that too often in the videos because it's all me. But trust me, whenever I get the chance to bring Dave in on the videos, I do. And I will continue to do. The next one is from Jenny Ilana. Some of the fairy tales and otherworld tales, not sure what to call it exactly, about fantastical creatures that you grew up with. For instance, what does a puka mean to you? Especially stories us Yanks would never be able to find in a book. Thanks you and happy birthday. Thank you, Jenny. Well, as far as the puka is concerned, puka isn't really synonymous, as far as I know, with this part of Ireland. It's something I was vaguely aware of as a child. The story was usually told to us at Halloween in primary school, and obviously would have been a fundamental part of my training as a ditch witch, in that I was intrigued by Ireland's darker side, you know, the fact that we had these mythical and supernatural creatures who were still believed to be roaming the earth, to the point that, you know, the nuns that taught us were warning us about them. And banshees too. Catholic nuns. I know we have this rep as being like super religious and conservative, but the nuns are pagans, people, okay? Heathens, every last one of them. Mind you, if I got the opportunity to go for the nice cushy house as well, do you know, like I could definitely spend all day every day talking to God. No problem. I may even have a revelation or two. Anyway, slight tangent. So stories, I suppose, from the area that did mean something to me growing up. Well, as you've heard me say before on the channel, I was very impressed by Bridget's performance upon being approached by her father to marry a man she had no particular interest in. Like poking out your own eyeball, it's just such a badass move. It's absolute hashtag life goals. And I think that started me off on a pretty good foot as a young'un, you know? And as I grew up then, as I got a little bit older, I learned a little bit more about things like Anton Bo Coolnia, spending more time connecting to the places where certain events of the Táin Bó Cúailnge happened. So up at Cuchullin's Castle, or Castletown Moat, as it's called. There or thereabouts in that area somewhere is said to be where Cuchulainn took rest and waited for the armies of Queen Maeve to come up the road and attempt to kick his ass. All of his wingmen, you know, the army that was meant to be doing the fighting, the men of Ulster, were like struck down with pregnancy pains. Don't ask, it's a long story. But basically they bailed and they left Cuchulainn to it. So, you know, 15, 16-year-old Cuchulainn stood there waiting for what might be like the apocalypse, I don't know. But I feel like that's a level of angst that, you know, my inner adolescent just really appreciates, you know? It'd be that kind of thing. I would say, whilst he was there and possibly terrified for his life, the crack was probably 90, because there is nothing like adversity to bring out the Irish sense of humour. So I like that kind of thing. I like the humour, satire. It's probably one that the Yanks will already know about. Don't come for me, it's a term of endearment, okay? But it's also not my words, it's Jenny's. And no, we don't mean it in the Civil War sense. No, just no. But I didn't have a huge amount of folklore coming my way other than what I was learning in school when I was a kid. I mean, there was always peripheral awareness of the other crowd. But I, like many Irish kids and kids around the world, unfortunately, was first exposed to a very Victoriana, sanitized version of what fairies were meant to be. So it took a few kicks up the hole and a lot of relearning, and now you wouldn't catch me going to visit a ring fort or anywhere else of that nature without a stick of butter in my hand, you know. I'm not saying I'm much wiser now that I've turned another year older, but at least I'm that much wiser. And I have a few questions down here that were sort of similar. It was different people asking about the music in my videos. And generally speaking, I always put the name of the song and the artist in the description below the video. So if there's something you like and you want to find it for yourself, that's the place to go. And if you don't see the name of the song you're looking for there, I may have forgotten to include it. I may have forgotten to include any music at all. I do occasionally do that and sometimes need reminding. So thank you to those of you who do that. And we have questions about the cats as well. So I have two cats. One is called Tilly, which is short for Matilda, and the other one is called Max, which is short for Maximus Casparius. Whilst both cats are fairly averse to appearing on camera, they do occasionally, but I knew this question was coming up for this video, so I did actually manage to nab a little bit of footage of myself and Max doing our twice daily routine of saying hello to each other. So I'm gonna stick that in here now.
It's my boy. He's my best boy. Yes. Oh, he's my bestest boy in the whole world. Yes, we're in love. I'm gonna make some tea. You come with me and help me make the tea. Let's go make the tea. Okay, this is Max helping me make the tea. Get the tea bag? Yeah. Careful. I can't see. How am I meant to get the tea made when you're being so cute? Oh my god.
And we have a couple of questions now from Steve Bennett. Thank you, Steve, for the questions. How do I find out more about your music and the books you have written? Great question, Steve. Well, I have written 3 books. One of them is a novella which is available free in ebook form on redmantlepublishing.com. If you hit subscribe on that, which doesn't cost anything, you get a free copy of Idiot Sticks, which is a time travel caper about a guy who inadvertently finds himself in the Iron Age. If you like satire, that is the one to go for. The other two books I have written are part of a series entitled Minori Rain, Trials and Tribulations. First book in that is called Flight of Fire, and the second one is called The Rapturous Moon. All three books are under the author name of Tara D.W. Tyne. The first novella I mentioned was co-written with my self-publishing partner Chris. Shout out to Chris. I don't know if he watches or not, but Chris is a legend and is an absolute wealth of information about Irish history, Irish heritage, Irish mythology. He really got me into a lot of this stuff, so shout out to you, Chris. And the Minori Rain books are available from all good online distribution websites. So you've got your Amazon, you've got your Book Depository, you've got Barnes & Noble, all the usual suspects. And if you're in Dundalk, you can also nip into Row River Books down on Park Street and pick up a copy of them either. Shout out to Tom in the bookshop. It's a day full of shout outs today, but I feel like, you know, if I can't do this on the day of my birthday, when can I do it, you know? And as for my music, I'm pretty sure that everything I have done is available on Bandcamp under Tara Tyne. I also have 50 million social media pages corresponding to each of those different projects. Yes, I have been looking for a way to tie them all neatly together for the last few years. No, I have not figured out a way to do that. Okay, nobody actually asked those questions, but they go round in my mind constantly, okay? By the way, on the social media front as well, I know that you know that I do my best to get back to everybody, no matter where they comment across social media. But for the month of October and possibly the first week or two of November, you may notice me lagging behind a little bit. I will get round to everybody eventually, probably, but I'm already starting to fall behind and it's not even October yet. How many musical instruments do you play? I mean, how many do I play well? Not many. Honestly, when I was a kid, we were encouraged into playing Irish traditional music, which I loved and which I was very good at. We all started with tin whistle at the age of about 6. And then you had the option of progressing on to another instrument if you wanted to, and I went with the fiddle, which is technically the same instrument as a violin, but it's a lifestyle thing, okay? The problem with me and traditional music came when local and national competitions for kids who played traditional music, and to me that was kind of the antithesis of what I enjoyed about playing music, and I went along with it because I was also fiercely competitive and liked to do well in things. But I think it messed me up a little bit. Even to this day, I'm not really a girl for live performance. I can do it if I have to, and you'd never know that I had been sick with anxiety for like 2 weeks beforehand. But it happens. So the first chance I got, basically, much to my chagrin these days, I dropped the traditional music. I joined the choir in secondary school, which I loved. That helped me develop my lungs. Then when I left secondary school, I learned guitar by teaching myself and getting the occasional lesson from my friend Teresa. And after that, I kind of had to go on any instrument I could get my hands on. So bowron, a little bit of harmonica. I have a bandy accordion in there as well, which I love. And one thing I have never been able to get good at, though I do keep trying, is piano. Like keyboards. I've usually always had one since I was a kid, but I'm just rubbish at it, you know? I mean, never developed that muscle memory. But a #1 goal of mine has long since been to be able to play boogie woogie on the piano. So, there's something you didn't know 5 minutes ago. I've been asked as well for my likes and dislikes. Let me see, likes. Tea, foot rubs, and getting a little bit too friendly with random cats I've just met in the street. Dislikes. Beige music, global fast food corporations, and gigging. Which answers the next question. Are there any plans for you to do a US tour? Thank you, but no. I mean, don't get me wrong, I could speak. I could do a speaking tour, you know, or something like that. I could do a dressing up and acting kind of strange tour, you know? There's a lot of things I would be very happy to do on a tour of the US or anywhere else for that matter. But performing live music with all the unpredictable instruments and tech and all of the things, that's not one of them. If I ever got the chance to go to Ireland, would you be a tour guide? Yes. I'd very much like to be. I think there might be a little issue possibly with public indemnity or something like that, but if I got enough people asking me to do it, I would probably go and get public indemnity. If anybody is watching this and has a definitive answer on that for me, do let me know, because I'd love to be a tour guide. I think that would be excellent crack. And then I'd get to meet you all one by one as you make your way to Ireland, the Holy Land. Have you ever thought of being a teacher? I do get this a lot actually, and I have thought about teaching. I thought at one point that I might go and teach art, but then again I was reminded how jobs as an art teacher are like gold dust. And honestly, history was not my strongest subject in school. I did do quite well in it, but I was terrible at remembering the names and the dates, so I don't know how that would go down, but yeah, maybe sometime. If the flow of life is to sweep me back to academic pastures, I'd be perfectly fine with that. I loved college, I loved university for the comparatively short amount of time that I was there. But thank you all for your high hopes in me, in thinking I'd be a good teacher. That's very sweet. And it's thoughts like that that keep me going on days when I just can't. How often do people come up and ask you for advice? More often than they need to, because I have X-ray vision and I can see into people's brains and I know what they're thinking and I answer their questions before they even ask them. Yeah, I have kind of done the agony aunt thing a fair bit over the years. I don't know if that's something that is going to happen on this channel. I don't know if there's any demand for it. But obviously being a Libra, I have a very pronounced sense of justice, you know, and fairness. So if there is something you would like me to pronounce my opinion or judgment, if you will, on, then, you know, don't be afraid to get in touch. And as for my age, I have just turned 284, and I think you'll agree that I look pretty
spiffing for my age.
Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this birthday Q&A half as much as I did. This has been really fun actually. Thank you for coming and celebrating my birthday with me. It really means the world. I know not everyone is into the chit-chatty videos. Some people, they just want the facts, you know, they just want the history. They want to be entertained and they don't want to know what kind of camera I use, and that's okay. I still love you. So Ditchaween kicks off this Sunday with my first video, which I'm not going to tell you about because that'd ruin the surprise. It's going to be every Tuesday, Thursday and Sunday. So share with a friend, give it a like, and I'm going to see you back here on Sunday for the first day of 13 days of Ditchaween. So hit subscribe for more fun and witchy adventures. Slán agus bannacht, goodbye and good luck to you.